Al-Qaim, Al-Qaim, it is a place to be. Al-Qaim, Al-Qaim, will you come with me? Al-Qaim, Al-Qaim, together we will be the helpers of Imam and strengthen our Iman. The helpers of Imam and strengthen our Iman. Inshallah.
I can't believe the teacher gave me less marks.
Sarah doesn't deserve to come first. You do.
Why is it always Sarah who comes first? Why not I?
It would be good if you ruin her test paper next time, so she doesn't come first.
Yeah, I will tear all her books as well, so she cannot prepare.
Assalamu alaikum, Hannah. What's going on? Whose books are you going to destroy?
Sarah's books.
But why would you do that?
Because she always comes first. If I destroy her books, she won't be able to study, and then I would come first.
Ya Ilahi, are you the same Hannah I knew? What happened to you? I think Shaitan is trying to disturb you.
No, I'm not. It's her idea.
He is making you feel jealous of Sarah.
Is he?
Yes, you are so busy listening to the whispers of Shaitan that you even forgot to say Wa alaikum assalam.
Look who is here to save Hannah from me. Ha 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 ha. It's too late. I have trapped her with jealousy and ego. All she cares about now is herself. No one other than herself.
لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. You are right. What am I doing? أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
No.
وعليكم السلام, Yunus. I am really sorry for not replying.
It's okay, Hannah, but I am shocked seeing you like this. How can you be jealous of your best friend?
It's just that I work so hard and I never come first.
You sure work hard, that's for sure. But maybe she works harder. Why do you want to destroy all your good deeds by being envious or jealous?
Destroy my good deeds?
Yes, Hannah. Imam Al Hadi alayhi salam has said, envy destroys good deeds. And guess what? Today is his birthday.
Astaghfirullah. What have I done? I feel so bad. It is our Imam's birthday, and instead of celebrating it, I am hurting my Imam by feeling jealous. What should I do? How can I erase what I did and make Imam Al Hadi alayhi salam happy?
Well, it is his birthday, and you can give him a very special gift by promising that you won't be jealous from anyone at all, ever in your life.
I promise I won't be jealous from anyone ever again, inshallah. May Imam Al Hadi alayhi salam help me fulfill my promise.
Ameen. Now cheer up, because it's time to listen to a story. So let's begin with Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Story time.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Heavenly Children, the Little Scholar. A story about Imam Ali Al Hadi alayhi salam, written by Kisa Kids Publications. Mu'tasim grunted and muttered to himself. Although he was the caliph, the ruler of the land, he pushed his food around his plate like a grumpy child. With an ugly grimace on his face, he glared around the palace courtroom. He was so furious. Gruffly he snatched the crown off his head to wipe the beads of sweat rolling down to his eyebrows. His vizier had been anxiously studying the caliph. It was his job to keep the caliph happy by helping him solve his problems. Working for such an unpleasant but powerful person was dangerous. If the vizier didn't do his job, he could be fired, or worse, killed. Mu'tasim was known for being moody and unreasonable. When he was in a bad mood, he could give very harsh punishments. Mu'tasim pushed himself to his feet and began pacing back and forth. We put him in prison and he teaches the prison guards. We banish him from the city and he persuades the people there. We have to poison him. Mu'tasim paused. Everyone held their breath. But if we poison him, the Shias will rise against me in protest. Ah! What do I do with this family? He threw his arms up in frustration. Mu'tasim was not talking about a rival ruler who had lots of riches, armies of men, and huge palaces. No, he was talking about a young 8-year-old boy whose father, Imam Al Hadi, he had just poisoned. He was talking about Imam Al Hadi. Despite now being orphaned and being so young, Imam Al Hadi had already begun his job of guiding the people to the truth. He was already winning their hearts. If the people turned towards Imam Al Hadi, they would surely turn away from Mu'tasim. If Mu'tasim imprisoned the young boy, the people would revolt. If he did nothing, he knew that Imam Al Hadi would earn everyone's love and loyalty. They would no longer tolerate Mu'tasim's tyrannical rule, and they would overthrow him. After all, people always seem to find their way towards the truth. Mu'tasim had to do something. Mu'tasim stood there, fuming and raging to himself. The vizier felt like this was a good time to interrupt Mu'tasim's thoughts and cautiously said, "May I be sacrificed for you, my master? I have a good idea." Mu'tasim sharply turned around and stalked towards his vizier. Mu'tasim viciously grabbed the vizier's collar, glaring at him. "I will make your mother cry for you. You better not say anything ridiculous or I will kill you," he shrieked. The vizier cowered under the caliph's seething breath. His mouth turned dry. He gulped. Yes, my master, whatever you wish." Mu'tasim let go of the vizier's collar and shouted, "Speak!" The vizier exhaled slowly. "He is very young," he began. "Why don't we bring him here and train him ourselves? I know of a Quran teacher named Junaidi. He hates Prophet Muhammad's family. All we have to do is pay him generously, and he will teach the young boy how to hate his lineage and be loyal to you. This is much better than putting the child in jail, because this way no one will revolt against you. They will have no idea what we are doing." The vizier was very pleased by his own idea, but he knew Mu'tasim. If he didn't like the vizier's suggestion, he could lose his temper again. The vizier waited nervously for Mu'tasim to respond. Mu'tasim stared at the vizier for a moment, then looked away. As he bit into an apple, the juice trickled down into his mustache and beard. The vizier and all the guards were on edge with suspense. What did Mu'tasim think of this evil plan? All of a sudden, he began laughing hysterically. "Ah, ah, 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 ah." Chunks of apple flew out of his mouth as his shoulders shook with each laugh. "I knew you were the smartest vizier I could find." Mu'tasim grabbed a bag of gold and threw it at the vizier. The bag hit his chest so hard that he lost his balance. That same evening, The Caliph sent a messenger to Junaidi with a letter and 2 bags of gold coins. Upon seeing the bags of gold, Junaidi promptly accepted the job and told the messenger to send Imam Al Hadi alayhi salam to his school the next day. The next morning, as all the children filed into Quran class, Junaidi eagerly looked around for Imam Al Hadi alayhi salam. He didn't see a new student among all the children. Something caught the corner of his eye. Suddenly, he realized the young Imam alayhi salam was sitting right next to him, and he was the only child without a Quran. Junaidi smiled to himself. Ha! This child probably doesn't know anything. I can even translate the ayahs of the Quran however I like, and he won't have a clue, he thought smugly. A month later, Junaidi was summoned to the palace. Mu'tasim wanted to know how Junaidi's little student was doing. As he walked into the courtroom, Junaidi respectfully bowed before the Caliph. The Caliph was in the middle of a meal, but when he saw that Junaidi had arrived, he didn't even wait to swallow his bite. With a mouth full of food, he sputtered, "So, what news do you have about the boy?" He was so excited to hear if their plan was working. Calmly, Junaidi said, "My master, please do not say boy, say teacher." Mu'tasim immediately stopped chewing. His jaw fell open and all the glee on his face disappeared. He was shocked. "What do you mean, teacher?" he shouted with an angry grimace. "My master, everyone knows me as a teacher, but this child is much more educated than I am," Junaidi replied. Mu'tasim gulped. He curled his fingers into tight fists and his nose flared. Junaidi continued, "He has memorized the entire Quran and even points out my mistakes. He doesn't bring a Quran to class, but whenever I ask him to recite from a long surah, he knows where to start and end. When I hear him recite the verses, I feel like I know nothing. He knows the answers to the most challenging questions. I swear his knowledge is from Allah. What could I possibly teach him? He is my teacher." "Stop!" Mu'tasim had stood up, gripping the arms of his chair with white knuckles. He was panting in fury, and beads of sweat had started rolling into his eyebrows. The vizier, the guards, and the court attendants all stood still, waiting. The caliph ran towards one of his guards and snatched his sword. Everyone looked at Junaidi, but it wasn't Junaidi Mu'tasim was aiming for. Like a raging bull, Mu'tasim charged towards his vizier, sword pointing right at his head. "I told you I would make your mother cry!" Everyone watched as the vizier bolted out of the palace hall, never to be seen again. The end. Thank you so much for listening, all of you. I'll see you next time, inshallah. Ma salama.
MashaAllah, that was a lovely story. I can see now how jealousy can make people evil, just like the evil King Mu'tasim. I would never want to be like him.
Neither do I. May Allah protect us from the evil whispers of Shaitan and all these horrible diseases like jealousy and ego.
Ameen.
So children, Imam Al Hadi alayhi salam was born on 15th Dhul-Hajj in a region called Thania near Medina.
He is our 10th Imam. His father is our 9th Imam, Imam Muhammad al-Jawad alayhi salam, and his mother is Sayyida Samana salamullahi alayha.
Yes, and his titles are Al Hadi, which means the guide.
And started practicing imamat when he was only 8 years old.
Wow, mashallah! And he would spend his nights praying and supplicating to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
At this time, there were many followers of Ahlul Bayt in different parts of the world.
So kids, communicating with all the followers was difficult because at that time there were no computers and no cell phones.
So, how do you think Imam communicated with so many people who were living in different parts of the world?
That's a good question, Hannah. I think it's time to think. Well, Imam formed a network by appointing a representative for each region.
If a person had a problem, a question, a message, or something to be given to Imam Al Hadi alayhi salam, he would contact the representative of his area.
The representatives contacted the Imam alayhi salam through letters carried by trustworthy people.
Today, if we have any problems or any important questions related to prayer, fasting, or anything else, we contact our most learned scholars through their representatives.
Yeah, that's right. These learned scholars are called mujtahids, who work really hard to gain the best knowledge.
Thus, Imam Al Hadi alayhi salam prepared the followers of Ahlul Bayt for the ghaiba of Imam Mahdi ajalallahu ta'ala farajahu sharif through this system of network.
So, when we won't be able to see our beloved Imam ajalallahu ta'ala farajahu sharif during the time of his occultation, which means when we can't see him, we could get our answers from our mujtahids and their representatives for important issues.
Time to listen to a nasheed and wish Imam Al Hadi alayhi salam a very happy birthday.
Yippee! Nasheed time!
Let's celebrate, let's celebrate, let's celebrate the birthday of Imam Al Hadi. Let's celebrate, let's celebrate, let's celebrate the birthday of Imam Al Hadi. Whose son is he? Imam Taqi. Whose father is he? Imam Asari. Whose grandfather is he? Imam Mahdi. Ajjalallahu ta'ala fi zuhurik. Let's celebrate, let's celebrate, let's celebrate the birthday of Imam Al Hadi. His name is Imam Ali Naqi. His title is Al Hadi, the guiding one. He prepared us for the ghaib of Imam Al Mahdi, the pure, the wise Imam Hadi, the pure, the wise Imam Hadi. Let's celebrate, let's celebrate, let's celebrate the birthday of Imam Al Hadi. Let's celebrate, let's celebrate, let's celebrate the birthday of Imam Al Hadi. We love Imam Al Hadi very much. He was born on 15th of Dhul Hajj. Let's give him a very special gift from our heart. Let's recite aloud, salawat. From our hearts, let's recite aloud, salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahu. Let's celebrate, let's celebrate, let's celebrate the birthday of Imam Al Hadi. Let's celebrate, let's celebrate, let's celebrate the birthday of Imam Al Hadi. Whose son is he? Imam Taqi. Whose father is he? Imam
Imam Al Hadi alayhi salam with us today.
See you soon, inshallah.
Till then, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.